Nebraska is quietly one of the best places to launch an LLC. CNBC ranked it the 15th best state for business in 2025, thanks to a steady economy, 3% unemployment, and a cost of living well below the national average, meaning that your dollars really go further. Now, forming an LLC here protects your personal assets and gives you pass-through taxation, so profits are only taxed once. With the competitive top corporate tax rate of 5.2% and business perks like no sales tax on raw materials for manufacturing, your bottom line benefits. Plus, programs like the Nebraska Progress Loan Fund and Angel Sidecare Fund can help you access startup capital. You also get flexibility, no board of directors or rigid corporate rules, which makes it easier to run your business. So if Nebraska sounds like the kind of place where your business can really take root, the first step is locking in the perfect name. So let's talk about how to choose one that's both legal and memorable. But before we jump in too deep here, here's one thing to keep in mind. So starting your business, it should be exciting, not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get confusing fast with all the legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video, but if any part of this feels really confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way, just click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. That said, let's get into choosing your LLC's name. So your LLC's name is more than just a label. It's the first impression of your business, right? Nebraska law requires that it includes limited liability company or an accepted abbreviation like LLC, LLC, LC, or LC. Beyond that, the name must be clearly distinguishable from all other business names registered in the state. Small tweaks like adding the or making a word plural or swapping Inc. for LLC, they don't make it unique enough to pass. So to check availability, you can use Nebraska's free corporate and business search tool online, which is linked to in the description along with any other resources I mentioned in the video. Now, if you find a name that you love but aren't ready to file your LLC yet, well, you can reserve it for 120 days by submitting an application and paying a small reservation fee to the Secretary of State. This guarantees that no one can just come in and grab it while you finish up the paperwork and get ready for your launch. Now, once your business name is officially yours, there's one person every Nebraska LLC needs in their corner, and that's a registered agent. Think of them as your company's lifeline for official state and legal notices. So let's break down what they do, why they matter, and how to choose the right one for your business. Every Nebraska LLC needs a registered agent. Think of this as your company's, official point of contact for anything legal or state related. Their job, accepting service of process, so lawsuits, subpoenas, and state notices on your behalf. Here's the catch. Nebraska law says that your registered agent must have a physical street address in the state, no PO boxes. It must be 18 and be available during all regular business hours. Now, to be clear, you could be your own registered agent or ask a trusted friend or hire a professional service. Now, if you choose to do it yourself, it is free, but your name and address become part of public record, so no more privacy. And you'll need to be glued to that address during work hours. Professional services give you more privacy, plus compliance reminders so you never miss a deadline. Now, when it comes to choosing one, I've personally used and recommend going with Northwest Registered Agent, which you can click on right up here to check out. They're known for their top-tier customer service, solid privacy protections, and really handling all the nitty-gritty so that you can focus on running your business. Plus, they only cost $39, which is a very solid price for what they offer. Now, you will officially appoint your registered agent when you file your certificate of organization. And without one, your LLC filing won't go through. So it's a small step, but a critical one. Now, once your registered agent is locked in, it's time to file the single document that officially brings your Nebraska LLC to life. But here's the thing. If you miss one tiny detail on it, the state will reject your filing and keep the fee. So let's make sure that we get it right. So this is the big moment, filing your certificate of organization. And that's what makes your Nebraska LLC official in the eyes of the state. Now, you can file online through the Nebraska Secretary of State's e-delivery portal or by mailing in your form. Filing fee is $100 online, $110 by mail, and you'll need to include your LLC's name, registered agent info, a designated office address, and whether your LLC will be member managed or manager managed. Once approved, you'll get formal confirmation and your LLC is legally recognized. Now, if you file online, approval can take just a few days, but by mail, it might take a couple of weeks. And a quick tip, triple check your information before submitting to avoid any delays. So now that your LLC officially exists on paper, Nebraska has one quirky extra requirement that you can't ignore, which is the state's unique publication rule. So let's go over what that is, how it works, and why skipping it could cost you. So Nebraska is one of the few states with a publication requirement for new LLCs. Within 45 days of forming your company, you must publish a notice of organization in a legal newspaper in the county where your designated office is located. The notice needs to run for 3 consecutive weeks, and after it runs, the newspaper will send you an affidavit of publication. You want to keep this for your records and file proof with the Nebraska Secretary of State, and this can be done all online. Now, costs vary by county, but generally range from $30 to $200 depending on the newspaper's rates. Now, it might feel old-fashioned, and it is, but skipping this step can cause your LLC to lose its good standing with the state, and it will create a ton of headaches down the road, so you just got to do it. Now, once your LLC is formed and you've taken care of the publication, the next move is building a strong operating agreement, which is kind of your playbook for how the business will run. So let's get into why that's so important. Now, to be clear, an operating agreement, it isn't required in Nebraska, but it's one of the smartest moves that you can make. It lays out exactly how your LLC will run, who owns what, how decisions are made, and how profits and losses are split. Even if you're the only owner, it helps prove that your business is separate from your personal finances, which is crucial for legal protection. So for example, if 2 friends start a bakery, the agreement could spell out who handles supplies, who manages finances, and each person's profit share, avoiding confusion later. Now, key points to include are things like ownership percentages, roles, voting rules, adding or removing members, and what happens if the business closes or is sold. Now, you can write it yourself, you can use a trusted template, or hire an attorney for complex setups if needed. Now, with your rules in place, it's time to get your EIN and open a business bank account. So let's cover those here next. Your EIN, or Employment Identification Number, works like a social security number for your business. You'll need it to hire employees, open a bank account, and build business credit. Most banks require one for LLC accounts, even single-member LLCs as well. Now, you can apply online on the IRS website for free and usually get it instantly. Now, even if it's something that's not a high priority for you, it's worth it just for the privacy, since it keeps your Social Security off all the business forms. And from there, you'll want to get into opening a business bank account. So generally speaking, you want to keep your personal and business finances separate if at all possible. And that is crucial for liability protection and easier tax filing. Now, to open an account, you want to bring your EIN, certificate of organization, operating agreement, personal ID, and any bank-specific forms. Now, some banks will let you do this online if you have digital copies ready as well, so make sure to shop around to find the best option that really suits your needs. And next up, we'll break down exactly what your LLC will cost, both to start and to maintain, so that you can plan ahead with no surprises. So starting an LLC in Nebraska, it comes with a handful of costs, right? Some you'll pay once up front, and others will pop up as ongoing requirements. But here's what to plan for so that you can launch and run your business with no surprises. Let's get into the startup costs first. So the certificate of organization, that is required, and that's filing your LLC's official paperwork. That costs $100 if you do it online, or $110 by mail. Then the publication requirement, that's also required. So after forming your LLC, you must publish a notice of organization in a local newspaper for 3 consecutive weeks. And this usually costs, it really depends on the newspaper, but between $30 to $250, again, depending on the publication in your county. And next is a registered agent, which is optional but highly recommended. So you can be your own agent for free or have a friend or family member do it. But again, your privacy will be out there, right? So I recommend that you hire a professional service, Northwest registered agent, to maintain your privacy, and it's only $39 for the first year. Then we have a business name reservation, which is optional. So if you want to reserve your desired LLC name before you file, the fee is just $30. And then we have an operating agreement, which is optional, but definitely recommended. And you can hire a lawyer to help with this at an estimated $500, or just find free templates online, which is what I recommend. From there, we go to ongoing costs. So there's a biennial report. So every 2 years, Nebraska LLCs must file a biennial report to stay compliant. State fee is only $13, and it's due by April 1st of the odd number years. Then we have the registered agent service. So if you're using Northwest Registered Agent, it's $125 per year to keep you in compliance after the first year. And then we get to business licenses and permits, right? So some industries and locations, they require annual business licenses, usually under $100, but it can vary by municipality and business type as well. So most Nebraska LLCs will pay about $150 to $300 to get started. And then ongoing, the costs are pretty low, $13 every 2 years for a biannual report, plus any licenses or registered agent fees that you opt for. Now, nearly all the fees that you have here, they are business expenses, so that can actually lower your taxable income as well. So keep that in mind. Now, again, to help you with all this, I advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which you can click on right up here to check out, as they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the most important thing, which is running a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me or a little bit confused about the process, please just drop me a comment below and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.